Welcome everybody to a heavyweight clash. This is the match of the round from Division 1 between Oliver King at the top of the screen and Dylan Magika at the bottom. Dylan, you can see Oliver actually enters this match. Let me just adjust this picture for you, sorry about that. Okay, now we can get started. Sorry, I thought I had that done before we recorded. Okay, Oliver enters this match as the number 1 overall seed across all the leagues. That's what 50 points gets you, but you can see Dylan only 45 points behind. 5 points behind on 45 in a pretty jam-packed division. I suspect, looking at the top of the standings for this division, that Division 1 is going to be providing the bulk of the wildcards for the playoffs as well, so this is a big match for these guys. It looks like Dylan is on this black-white aggro deck that's been doing pretty well. You see a mono-red on the other side for Oliver. Now, a really interesting piece of trivia for those watching. Both Dylan and Oliver have been regulars of the leagues. Dylan joined in Season 1 and Oliver joined in Season 2. Dylan did take a brief break at one point, but this is the first time in 6 seasons of the league that these two have actually played each other. Now, the reason I discovered that was because I thought, hey, here's 2 regulars. It'd be quite fun to put up a stat of how many times they've played and, you know, what the overall score is. Went searching, looked through everything, including format finals, and there's nothing there. So, despite being regulars, nothing. Goblin Chainwheeler with the first strike there. You can see Dylan's mouse just hovering over. I suspect he might have forgotten about that. Now, Lyra Dawnbringer is one card that mono red decks really struggle to deal with because of the 5 power. There's no 5 mana burn spell that gets played by red that can actually deal with it. So it's going to need a combination of 2 cards. Something like a Lightning Strike and a Magma Spray from Oliver, or a 2 power Ballista and a Lightning Strike. You can see the Heart of Quran on the other side. Dylan chose not to play the Dawnbringer there. He wanted to hold up the counter spell. Now again here, is he going to swing in? Because the Goblin Chainwheeler's first strike is going to take down one of those knights. The other thing to point out here is, out of that 50 points of Oliver's, that has come from being undefeated in both Standard and Legacy. So 40 of his points have come from 2 formats. 10 points have come from Modern. So that's a pretty dominating display. He'd probably be favourite to at least play finals. If he doesn't go through as a champion, at least make a wild card in both of those formats as well. So he's bounced back pretty well from a pretty ordinary season last year. Dylan, on the other hand, has also had very good Legacy and Standard. In 5 rounds, he's 4-1 for both formats at the moment. And unfortunately, what did I miss there? I was just checking the standings and I didn't see what happened to the Lyra Dawnbringer. Ballista's going to finish off the Chainwheeler. Okay, so now both players now running out of cards. Though it's Dylan with the card advantage here. Khan's going to be able to start drawing him some cards. Opposing scroungers. This scrounger can't be blocked. You can see Dylan out of cards with and tapped out, so is he going to be able to finish? Yeah, so Oliver can actually finish off Khan here if he wants to, and that's exactly what he's going to do. Knight of Malice is a good pickup, though it's not going to be able to do anything on this board against a mono red because any burn spell can target it, such as Unlicensed Disintegration, and that's a huge one. It looks like Oliver's going to take game 1 here. Or Fatal Push. Dylan's got to hold this until combat next turn. So he's going to have a turn. You can see Oliver down to 5. You can fatal push now because that scrunge is coming back. And now he's got some blockers. So it looks advantage bar swings very much in Dylan's favour this time. If Oliver has a removal spell, he'll win here. He's got 2 cards. Is one a removal? Yes, it is. Glorybringer will do it. So game 1 goes to Oliver. On to standard game 2 now. Oliver's unbeaten streak is 1 win away from continuing. Treasure Map's quite an interesting card here. I've been experimenting with mono black control a little bit. You'll probably see my games later against Julia, which were, well, I'll talk about that in those games, but between Khan and Treasure Map, there's a lot of card draw available. Although Treasure Map, I'd be interested to see what Oliver would do here if he had an Abrade. Brings in P. and Karen. The History of Benali is going to turn on Knight of Malice's +1, so it's a 3 power first striker now. And Knight of Malice is going to be able to get in. Because Scrap Heap Scrounger cannot block. But it's just a passing of the turn as Heart of Quran comes down. Thopter cannot be blocked because it has flying. And History of Benali is going to put another creature out there. So he's going to be able to crew Heart of Quran, but you can see with 2 fatal pushes in hand, Oliver's Heart of Quran is not long for this world. And he's just baited him there. That's quite a funny play because, I mean, this match is actually sped up, obviously. We time walk these matches, so it's a bit more difficult to tell how long Oliver thought about that, but I'm guessing he was trying to pounce on a misplay from Dylan, but I don't think Dylan makes those sort of misplays too often. And there's going to be some big knights crashing in now because his History of Benalia is going to, I don't even know what the term is, it's going to conclude or it's going to finish its story. I don't know what you call it when a saga finishes. You finished reading the book, but here come the 4/3s. You see Knight of Malice is a 5/3. Yeah, I'm interested, and that's a massive amount of power cone across 12. 17 damage, that's lethal actually, so he's got a block here. He's only going to block 1. P is a chumper, but you can hold a turn and P can actually trade with one of those knights. No turn 2 play, is he holding up a removal spell possibly? If he abrades the Heart of Quran, he's still facing lethal. But this just looks really ugly at the moment. I think that's lethal. There's no way out of this for Oliver. We're going to game 3. I quite like this black-white deck from Dylan. I'm preparing. I have to play standard for SCG Philadelphia, and this is one I was looking at, so I might pick his brain at some point. Although I have next to no standard cards, so we'll have to see what I can get my hands on. As I record this, the Pro Tour is going on, and Oliver's deck is actually pretty prevalent at the Pro Tour at the moment. Now he plays a white, he's going to get first strike. He's got two, because Knight of Malice can't be blocked here. Oliver's just saying in chat that knight is surprisingly annoying. It's actually, because you can see Unlicensed Disintegration is really bad against a white knight, obviously, because it's part black, but What's grind to dust? I haven't seen that too much. The Black Knight and the White Knight are kind of the same, except they've got opposite colours that they... Okay, put +1 counters on up to 2 target creatures. That's a pretty cool card. I didn't see what the flashback on that was. Hopefully he's going to do it or hover over so we can see. Oh yeah, okay, so the flashback is the exiles. Yeah, so the Scrap Heap Scroungers are going to be exiled here unless they can die. So they're going to get in for 4. Dylan's down to 4, so this is the deciding match. He's going to flash back. So this is exile any number of creatures of -1 counters. So the 2 Scroungers are down. What's going on here? Is this card bugged? Yeah. Yeah, there's some sort of bug going on here with the... And this is interesting because... Yeah, Oliver's doing the good thing here. He's going to say, yeah, cast the card. And we'll pretend that they're exiled. That's the correct way, going by our rules, to play around this problem. But what's happening here is Dylan's trying to flash back grind to dust on the flip side. Oh, after I said all that, it worked anyway. Yeah, he's saying it's lag. I was about to say, in my game against Julia, we actually encountered a similar issue where the flashback side was buggy as well. Yeah, down to 3. This is nuts. Now, again, he's going to try and bait him here. Is he going to fall for it again? He is going to fall for it again. So that's going to trigger Revolt. And Dylan just laughs in the chat. He says, wow, that actually worked. And Oliver can only laugh as well. That was gold. And this is starting to swing now. Look at Oliver. 2, 4, 6, 8 lands and nothing to do. Down comes a Scrap Heap Scrounger. You can see Dylan was forced there to wait because he wants to hold up Cast Out in case Glorybringer comes, because he's just absolutely dead to a Glorybringer. Oliver's going to be forced to play up Pianola here. In turn, well, that kind of surprises me a bit. I think actually, no, he couldn't have cast the Angel of Sanctions. Either way, he's tapped out for a Glorybringer. He'd be dead both. Although Angel of Sanctions could block. Oh, no, it can't even block because the Glorybringer can exert. Yeah. Well, Oliver's saying he fucked up with that block. I think if he didn't block, it just would have forced Dylan to use the cast out on the Goblin Chain Whirler. So here's this Angel of Sanctions. He can't beat a top deck Glorybringer, so he's just going to play it out. Yeah, Oliver's dead. If he doesn't top the Glorybringer, it's game over. You can see the life total is 3-2, so what a finish. A Braid is not going to get it done. He's going to be 2 points short. Actually, he could have bought himself a turn there. He could have abraded a Scrounger and Magma Sprayed the other Scrounger. But he's going to concede. So we're going to game 1, and that's Oliver's first loss in Standard this season. As we can see now, we've seen this deck quite a bit this season from Dylan. It's Bogles. I have seen him play it quite a few times. Oliver... we haven't seen too much of Oliver this season for some reason, but he's on. This is a deck I've seen him play as well. Is this the Hollow One deck? So both these players not deviating from the norm here, and I suspect this is a horrible matchup for Oliver. Red Black has absolutely no way to beat Bogles. It can't go wider. It can't chump block, even if it had Damnation or Anger of the Gods in the sideboard, it doesn't matter because Dylan's deck is full of Totem Armor. So it kind of just has to race, but the only way to race is to beat a Daybreak Coronet, which we can see is about to come down. Coronet giving the Boggle lifelink, and once that hits, there's no way out of this. So I suspect, yeah, Oliver's saying in, oh no, sorry, Oliver's just saying in chat, because this is Time Walk, he's saying I may not have time for Legacy. I was going to say, I think it's time for Legacy. I think there's absolutely no way he can win this match. Yeah, Bogles is this kind of pesky little deck that seems to have become very popular. Like, it comes and goes, it's been around forever, but it's popular again. It's very difficult to beat without specific sideboard cards, but at the same time, personally, it's not as annoying as that Lantern Control. Well, one option, I mean, there's no Rancor at the moment, so one option he has, or Flamewake Phoenix has to attack each turn if able. Huh? Like, okay, something's giving the Boggle reach, I didn't even realise, but yeah, Oliver's seen enough, so we're going to game 2. Not sure what he could really bring in here. So he's got the turn 1 Boggle again. You can see his Spirit Link is going to, I believe, give Life Link. Goblin Law. Gurmag Angler's in the bin. That Bloodlust on the Bloodgust on the other side can't block, so there's a Totem Armor, so it's pretty much hopeless already. There's another Totem Armor. Their Unflinching Courage also gives lifelink. Here's Tasiga. Tasiga's going to look very ordinary next turn when he's going to be a chump blocker. Actually, Tasiga's a bit... well, that's interesting. He's got Lingering Souls there, so he can't cast it. He can only cast it from the graveyard, so you can see he flashed it back. And here's the Daybreak Coronet, lifelink, Rancor, Trample. This one's done. We're going to go to Legacy shortly. Oliver down to 2. Actually, the only card that Oliver can think of that used to see modern play but sees absolutely no modern play now is Tribute to Hunger. Tribute to Hunger would kill that Boggle, and that would be a massive swing for the black player, but it doesn't see any play. So we're going to go to Legacy. And Dylan, he changed his deck last week when he was facing me, so he's back to his normal one here. This is the mono red prison deck. And Oliver, undefeated in Legacy, is on his normal deck, which is like this, I don't know, I think it's Death and Taxes you call it. It's mono white. One thing that's going to kind of benefit both these players, if they have concerns about people tailoring decks and so on, is that before I announce the seedings for the finals, or before I even announce who is in the finals, everybody has to submit their decks, DCK files to me, which are the decks that they're going to play for the finals. Mages of the Moon is going to be a good one here, because part of Oliver's strategy, you can see the Rishadan ports and the Wastelands, is just to kind of control the game from that aspect. Uh-oh. Stoneforge is going to bring in a Batterskull, and this is going to get ugly. Yeah, Dylan's Batterskull is going to kill the Mages. He does have the follow-up Blood Moon, which is probably a better option, but it is going to be very difficult to beat a Batterskull prior to sideboarding. I mean, obviously Red's got 1,000,001 answers to artifacts, but a lot of life gain coming for Oliver. He's got another one. What's he got this time? It's the Sword of Fire and Ice. So I think this one we're just about done here. Undefeated in Legacy. Oliver started out with a bang again. So the sword does 2 damage. Here's an ensnaring bridge. This is gonna stem the bleeding, I believe. Does Oliver have an answer to this? Only his Thopter can get in now. So the little 1/1's going to have to start chipping away. 25 turn clock. Mono White. What does he... I don't think Mono White has anything mainboard to get rid of Ensnaring Bridge. Well, Recruiter of the Guard. That's going to search for something of toughness 2 or less, which could be a Stoneforge Mystic. He can also unequip the sword to get in with the Stoneforge as well. Or, okay, Flicker Wisp is going to be a good one here. 3, 4, 7, 8. That'll be 1 short. So what he would be trying to do here is to Flicker Wisp the Ensnaring Bridge. He needs 2 Flicker Wisps to do it. Actually, before he even gets 2 Flicker Wisps, he needs 2 planes. You can see Dylan's got a nice little lock going to some degree here. He uses his Thopter to swing and then plays his card after attack, so he just chips away at 1 each time. Oliver on the hunt for planes. If he can also get a Swords to Plowshares to get rid of that Magus, would put Dylan to 11, 7, 8, 9. He'd be 1 short either way, so Swords is not relevant at this stage. He needs to get that second Plains. Passes the turn. You can see he's got 6 cards in hand. That kind of suggests to me he's got multiple cards that use double white. So probably multiple Flicker Wisps. As we see there, no attacks from... okay, here's no attacks from Dylan, respecting... and here's a Flicker Wisp, so damage coming in now. Get rid of that Ensnaring Bridge. He's going to be able to put counters with the GT on something. He's going to put them on the Thalia. Everybody's coming in. So the Thalia's, the GT is going to be able to equip a 1/1, and then after attacks are declared, or no, because it's a 0/0 now, there's a second Flicker Wisp, and we're going to game 2. So he beats the Ensnaring Bridge game 1. That's pretty ominous for Dylan. As we go to game 2, you can see he's got Dylan's got the Ensnaring Bridge in hand again. Oliver's probably brought in something like Disenchant. I'm a bit surprised that he mulled that first hand. Well, the Mox is going to get him a red source, but turn 1 Goblin Rabblemaster, you don't turn that one down. Two Ensnaring Bridges, so he doesn't play... Yeah, he's going to play 1 out, so turn 2 Ensnaring Bridge. This is a... you can see he doesn't have double red, otherwise, if that was a red source, this is a very good start from Dylan. Oliver quickly down to 11. He can't attack that Goblin Rabblemaster because Thalia's got first strike. Now, there's bad news right there. Stoneforge Mystic. Finding Batterskull, and he's got the double double white as well. Well, but although, yeah, Dylan's saying I needed a mountain so that he can minus Chandra to get that something off the battlefield. He can play the second ensnaring bridge, and then Oliver would need to have 2 flicker wisps. Now he's in trouble. I think he's got to run the second ensnaring bridge to beat the flicker wisp, but I'm obviously Dylan knows his deck much better than I do, so I'm not really sure why he's not running that one out. Unfortunately for him here, Goblin Rabble Master means that he's got no choice but to swing. I actually would have swung the Rebel Master there just to kill it. So otherwise, he's just given land. He's just giving life to the Batterskull every turn. So you can see Oliver back up to 10. Does he find the mountain? He finds a Magus, so he can also play the Magus here, and that'll give him a mountain. But here, I'd really like it to see him swing that. Yeah, he's swinging the Rebel Master this time, because the Rebel Master is going to be big, but he probably needed to do it the last turn. If he did it last turn, it would have forced the block. So he's going to stop the life bleed here. And you can see the Batterskull can't get in at the moment. 5 cards in hand though. Oliver will just be setting it up to probably get him on one fell swoop. Now, he's going to play the second bridge here. Why is he paying extra? 1, 2, 3. He paid 4. What am I? Oh, okay, Thalia. Okay, so alright, yeah, apologies to Dylan. I totally forgot about that. Thalia was out, so he actually had to pay 4 the whole time I was talking about the bridge. So, obviously he can't because he only had 3. Yeah, so he was like pretty much screwed multiple ways. Now he can't play that Rebel Master out because it's just going to give life. But Chandra can come down next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and start to go to work. Get rid of. What do you take? Oh, well, actually, no. The problem for Chandra here, I think that's just dead now. 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Still one ensnaring bridge to deal with. Chandra can't target anything because of Mother of Ruins. 2 Mother of Ruins has just got everything well covered. Gets his mountain when it's too late and can't be played. Here's Flicker Wisp Flash, the bridge. I'm guessing if he's doing it now, he's got multiple, because he's only going to push 2, 3, 4 damage here. Magus is going to go to the sword, and it looks like Oliver is going to get a comfortable 2-0 win in Legacy to keep his undefeated Legacy record alive. But Oliver avoids a sweep. Dylan actually will take. He got standard 2-1 and he got very quickly got modern 2-0, so the top of the standings are just absolutely cram-packed now. I don't think there's any card in his deck that gets him out of this now. Yeah, the second Flicker Wisp. Well, I'm a bit surprised he... For life. No cards in hand, he's got to get the Ensnaring Bridge. Does he have another Flicker Wisp? He's slow rolling, he's going to Ether Vial. Any Ether Vials or Flicker Wisp, this one's over, so it's going to be a victory for Dylan, but it's going to be a game win to Oliver in Legacy. You can see 8 points to 5, so Oliver will keep his lead at the top.